do it?
No, I'm afraid it might give a little...
When you first mentioned?
Okay, wait.
Yes, better.
This is my sister's New York apartment, and she's getting ready to be filmed.
I already put that down.
That's my sister Jenifer on the bed.
Are you rolling? Yes.
There she is before she got sick. So beautiful, my incredible big sister. And then she got ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease.
Okay, wait.
She's had it for 6 years.
Yeah. Tissues.
Most people are dead by 6 years. So I guess you could say she's been lucky. That's me, Meredith, with my sister Valerie. Together, we created Project ALS, an organization committed to finding a cure. Because right now, there is no cure, no medicine, no treatment, no nothing. We're fighting for my sister's life.
Could you get this pillow higher up on my elbow?
Karen and Lorna do everything for Jenifer. She's paralyzed from the neck down. One day, there will be a cure for ALS, but it might not be in time for my sister.
I'm on 0 right now.
We need to quieten the door closed in there, please.
So, Jenifer, the first question. Why did you let us in?
You know, I very, very rarely show people my mask. My mask. Like what I look like on a mask. But I want people to see that this is where it goes to, ALS, if it's not stopped. Because I think that in a way, in a weird way, I've learned to be sort of like a soldier in my illness. Again, I've adjusted. I never knew I'd have to lose so much.
She's a soldier. I think she's a prisoner of war right now. I really do.
The first year I got sick, I was very into why me. And I used to just talk my sister's ears off about it. But I think there's no answer to that. Because I think everybody has a why me. Why me? Everybody has that. I got a really bad why me. But I gotta fight to the end. And if it doesn't come in time for me, I gotta love what I have.
As Jenifer was saying, 3 years ago, it was easier to be optimistic because the disease hadn't taken as much of her body. But you can't fuck with my sister. See, that's the thing. You can't. So we have to keep fighting to make sure that people understand that, because it's all we have at this point. But
it is all we have, really.
Yeah. You know, Chekhov said it, right?
Yeah.
But it's all we have is the work, and
That's what he said.
that's what keeps me going. And it's delusional, all right? So.
I don't think it's delusional.
Yeah.
I think it is what inspires change.
Yeah, well.
You know, that's West Side Story song. Who knows? Something's coming.
Could be.
Sing it again.
Could be, who knows? There's something due any day. I will know right away. Anyway,
I love that song.
Could be, who knows? It's only just out of reach, down the block on a beach, maybe
I don't know, there's this thing going on in my life, and I can't wait to talk to you about it.
Oh, really?
I'm really excited. Kiss me, Tim, right in the camera.
I was 35 years old. You know, I was really looking good.
take them close up.
I was going to the gym a lot. And I found that I was twitching, like my muscles, like little twitches. I would go to my sisters and I would say, I have like all this twitching in my body and I feel like kind of fluey, kind of fluish. You know, what's up? And they'd be like, you're fine, you're okay.
You know, we're Jewish girls. It's part of our culture. You know, I wouldn't say we're hypochondriacal, but you know, when something's even a little wrong, you just want to plan for the worst. But this was like off the charts. So although I thought something might be wrong, I just thought it was maybe a metabolism problem. I just thought it was same old, you know, Estess, whatever. Chazarai. Except Jenifer started tripping, and there were times when we'd walk across the street and she would start sweating because she was so tired just walking a block. It was scary.
You know, when you're walking a city block, but the wind is pushing so hard, but there was no wind.
Right, and you had trouble
ALS.
opening the door just to get into the office building that day, and it wasn't right. Something was definitely wrong.
Yeah.
I knew something was wrong.
The research in my laboratory covers both the realm of therapeutics and pathogenesis. Why does ALS occur? All of these rats have the gene for ALS, and there are different stages of the disease. This animal looks completely normal, and he is really normal, but he will develop ALS at one point. And I can begin to look at his nervous system and try to understand what's happening now before he shows any evidence of disease. The next rat, actually, is now early into ALS, and you can see he can't move his hind limbs very well because his feet have already become paralyzed, no different than an ALS patient that's now in a wheelchair. That's an early stage of the disease. And then finally we have this animal that's in a much later stage of the disease, almost end stage. This animal can't even move. If we think back on an ALS patient, they don't lose any cognitive ability, they can think clearly. What they lose is motor function.
There you go. Babe, looking good.
I think it's very bold of you just to sit here looking at you square in the face.
I went to NYU theater department, and I met people there who had formed a theater company called Naked Angels. They brought me in to become a producer for them.
Topol and Rob Morrow starring.
We worked extremely long hours, but a lot of gifted people worked there. It was my life. And I was walking around thinking I'm fine. I went to a neurologist, and he looked me over. When he said, "You're fine," he goes, "I'm just gonna run one test, but I know it's gonna come back fine." And that's when it all started. This one test.
There's two parts
It
to
was
this
at
test.
NYU, right?
There's no definitive diagnosis for ALS, but this one test is pretty telling. It's called an EMG. And on March 26th of 1997, Jenifer and my mother and I went for this test that was going to show nothing. The radiologist came in and administered the first part, and she got up and left the room, just kind of abruptly. Then another guy came in, and then he just like kind of went ashen and left the room. And I thought,
Everybody was leaving.
there was some subplot.
It was
that I
like a
really
lamb,
hooked into.
like a lamb to the slaughter.
You were,
A
quite
little
frankly.
bit, yeah.
Then the head of radiology came back in.
Yep,
And he
people have
started
always
asking you,
tried to
like, have you been
understand
taking cocaine? And
No, he
what-
did not,
Yes, he
Valerie.
did. All right, he didn't
He
say
said,
that.
"Are
I'm
you
making
on
that
any
up.
kind of prescription drugs that I should know about?"
Then he just said, well, I'm afraid there is something.
Something.
Yeah.
And we were like, "Well, what do you mean something?"
So we were sent downstairs to the neurologist who prescribed this test, and it was so obvious he just couldn't face
He
Jenifer.
couldn't look at us.
So he
you
never
eat?
took his face out of the file. When we filed into his little exam room, and his face was in the file, he could not lift it up, and he was all red. He mumbled something about, well, it looks to be some kind of motor neuron disease. And we just looked at each other like, what the hell is a motor neuron disease?
Well, who said ALS? It doesn't seem
Nobody. We just started reading. Meredith went to the White Plains
Library.
Library.
And just start looking at motor neuron disease, and ALS keeps popping up.
Yeah,
Lou
it
Gehrig's
turns out that
disease.
motor neuron disease is a catchphrase.
They should have just,
For
what they
ALS.
should have, what the doctor should have said is ALS right then and there.
but they didn't have the balls.
They didn't have the medicine either.
Well, they don't have the balls and they don't have the medicine. Yeah.
I think it's because they are doctors. Doctors are supposed to make you well. Try to make you well.
You'd hope so.
Help to make you well. They had zippity doo dah.
So they just
So they
shut
run.
down?
Yeah.
nice.
You don't agree, Rowdy? You're giving me that
No, I
look.
agree. I
I mean,
mean,
it's all about telling a 35-year-old woman that she's going to die. They don't
How
want
do
to
you do that?
The best example of courage I know and strength is someone who is completely paralyzed dealing with ALS, like Jenifer. Just seeing her and talking to her, I think, is itself a kind of inspiration. She's with us here. We think of her, we talk of her, and she really is a great stimulus for us to do more, faster, and better. There are genetic variants that can either cause the disease outright or that can predispose to the disease. Predisposing gene variants might be relevant even to people who have sporadic ALS that doesn't run in families, and so it might be directly relevant, for example, to Jenifer.
I remember on the day that Jenifer had the appointment, she actually went up to see this guy, Dr. Rowland, with my mother and our sister Allison up at Columbia University.
The neurologist was really clueless.
He was bad.
He was clueless.
But they said Dr. Rowland was the giant in his field.
And we didn't know what to do with ourselves. Jenifer said, just stay in the office and work. Just stay in the office. Answer my phones, you know. And Meredith and I just could not, we couldn't sit there. I've never felt so nervous. My body was in...
I think we went to St. Patrick's.
Yeah, we went to St. Patrick's Cathedral and prayed. 2 Jewish girls in St. Patrick. But, you know, we were never very religious. I don't even know if it was God. And just prayed really hard, you know.
Like, what did you...
Yeah. A lot of good that did.
Yeah,
What?
that did a lot of
A
good.
lot of good that did.
I was having a day of my own. I went to meet the giant in the field. He looks at me and goes, you don't have ALS. And I go, oh my God, thank you. You know when you cried, you're so happy.
Our prayers
Because
answered.
somebody like says, you're fine, kid, get out of here. And then he looked at my file. And he saw the results of the EMG. And he goes, Jenifer, I made a terrible mistake. And he asked everybody to get out of the room. Anyway. Sorry.
Do you want to stop?
Yeah.
There's a real statistic in ALS. Most people think it's rare. 1 out of every 800 men that die will die of ALS. That means everyone that sees this film will know someone, either friend or family or colleague, that'll develop this disease someday.
Hi, Jane.
For a disease to cut you down, because it's fatal within 2 to 5 years, we figured that was completely unacceptable. That's how the whole activism got spurred on.
I assumed that there was medicine out there. It's just we probably weren't talking to the right doctors. As it turned out, there's actually really nothing in the hopper, nothing in the pipeline, as they call it, in the drug development pipeline. There was no medicine whatsoever.
Well, we did go down for a second opinion
Right.
to Johns Hopkins.
Right. Turned out that one of the mavericks in ALS research was also a great clinician, so he also saw many ALS patients from all over the world. So in my brilliant thinking, you know, Jenifer should see this guy because he might, as a researcher, maybe has something in his pocket, you know, that he could give us. And it was a brutal visit.
It was really intense talking to him.
He told Jenifer to eat all the junk food that she wanted and to max out her credit cards and go on a long trip.
And he said that because a lot of his other
He said it
patients
with
had
no
done that.
bedside manner. That's
Nothing.
how he said it.
But he also says years later it was the most difficult, right?
Patient meeting he's ever
that he's
had.
ever had.
I
Right.
just kept rattling his cage.
She said
You know-
people had never sat there for that long asking him that many
And
questions.
my whole
all
family's
did.
there, we were just grilling him, you know, shooting questions and wearing him down.
The real unexpected part was the intensity of the sisters. But they wanted a lot of information that day. What was NIH doing? What was the ALS Association doing? What was the Muscular Dystrophy Association doing? And I was fairly familiar with all of that research because I'm in the midst of all that research. And when that was done, they weren't happy and they wanted more and more that I couldn't give them.
You know, at that point, it's becoming clear to us that we were up against it, that there was not going to be any way out unless we created it.
I wanted to have a really sort of high-powered career as a producer. Wanted to work with Meredith a lot on the business end of things. Valerie creatively. I did not want to do it around a disease, but so we took it on the way we would take something else on.
Project ALS is something that my sisters and our friend Julianne Hoffenberg and I decided to do one day. We were sitting around and talking about, you know, the dire state of ALS research and the unfortunate fact that nobody was doing anything. So, you know, it was our idea to maybe do something. Maybe we could do something. Maybe we could put on a show. You know, maybe we could inspire scientists in a new way to look at this problem. And it was my feeling that it would be really cool to mold it after the Manhattan Project. The thought being there that we would leverage the best scientists in the world and kind of force them to sit in one room until they came up with, you know, the ALS equivalent of the atom bomb, you know, medicine.
Once Jenifer was able to tell her friends that she was sick, you know, we kind of hid that for a while.
Yep.
We didn't want to tell anybody.
I didn't want to come out with it.
Right, but when she finally did, and we did as a group, the four of us sat down and we called on all our friends. And as a family, we certainly didn't have the kind of money. You need millions of dollars to, you know, put to the problem. You have to be able to not bribe the kind of bribe the doctors. You have to be able to say, I'll give you $1 million, now work on the problem. No, it's taken such hard work. I mean, we started with nothing. Nothing. I mean, it would be a lot easier. We could just take our own money and throw it to the problem.
It would not really make the problem easier, would you think? We would still have the same drive to organize and to be activists and to be motivated.
I don't know about that.
You know what it was when our father left, you know, and he took basically all the money in our bank accounts. We were working at the age of 14, 15, and 16 at, you know, the local donut shop and the local deli. And ever since those days, we've learned that working, you know, is the best way to solve a problem.
True.
It certainly prepared us. Our younger years definitely prepared us for this fight.
If you could have seen Jenifer flipping those donuts, remember?
She doesn't seem to be eating them. You know, I feel a Donna Summer song coming on.
Which one?
We
She
were
works hard for the
caught.
money.
Right. Now, it's here you go for that.
No, I think
Okay.
I've done my little stint.
Okay.
We've done these things a few times, and the wonderful thing is they're all spontaneous, they're improvisatory.
Everybody that knew Jenifer wanted to help. People like Ben Stiller,
Ben Stiller
who she's
was
known
the
since she was a little
champion.
kid, you know, said he would host or do anything he could. He would bring people from California to buy tables. And
Just a lot of really groovy people. Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker. Marisa Tomei
and as the word about Project ALS has gotten out there, people just come and they want to help, and it's amazing.
Okay, nobody leaves tonight until some cash is coughed up, and I mean it.
Start with $7,500. Do I hear somebody? You say you're not satisfied. You say $7,500
Right there in the front. We love
Do
that
I hear
table, number 2.
8,000.
Kevin, help us out here, baby.
10,000.
What we realized very early on is we were drowning in a sea of plenty. There was a smart guy over there and a smart gal over there, and they were all over the place, and they hadn't necessarily spoken to one another. So we saw it as our job to put them in touch with one another and to sort of force them or leverage them with cash and people started talking, and we started raising money, and we started saying to these guys, look, we want you to keep talking, and if we give you this money, will you keep talking?
Greg, you are so fucking rich. Come on.
The key to our success, I think, has been knitting together different collaborations among scientists all over the world.
Let's go, Greg. 27.5. No, you can't do it. It's a lot of pressure.
27.50.
Oh my God! He's doing it at 27.50.
You know, as soon as we started, we had a benefit and we raised $800,000. Literally the next week, we went to Johns Hopkins, we went up to Boston, to Harvard, and we gave the money away. They hear from us a lot, I mean, especially Valerie, and at the beginning, all of us. You know, it was constant phone calls. They weren't used to it. I think they enjoyed it.
They've energized researchers working together. They've catalyzed research by saying, you're really good at this research, but you don't know that much about ALS. You know a lot about ALS, but you don't know too much about, say, stem cell research. Why don't you guys work together, and we're going to be there to make sure you continue to make progress. For stem cell research in ALS, they are the principal movers. They started well before any other group considered doing it. They drove that, they pushed us. And I don't think we'd be at the level of research where we are today without their driving force. We were able to move what turned out to be exciting research in the laboratory to, in fact, a clinical trial that's now underway in 2 years.
Project ALS, which I built with my sisters, has assembled and funded a dream team of scientists. In the last 9 months, these scientists have produced stunning evidence that neural stem cell replacement can replace damaged motor neurons. These new cells may one day allow me to do the things I miss so much, like brushing my hair, laughing out loud. Each day I speak from inside my body, which has now become a prison. I am still here and dreaming of an America that will protect the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all. Thank you so much.
Sing ta-na-na, ta-na-na, she got diamonds on the sole of her shoe. She got diamonds on the sole of her shoe. So true. She got diamonds on the sole of her shoe.
I want to walk through Bergdorf's with my mother and pick out my wedding gown. I want to walk in the sun with my friends, catch a movie, and stretch my legs out in the seat in front of me. I want a Christmas shop on Fifth Avenue.
Project ALS is more than anything else a work of the imagination. That means to help medicine see things in new ways.
People say she's crazy, she got diamonds on the soles of her shoes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest heavyweight champion of all time, Muhammad Ali.
Diamonds on the soles of her
I am told that we have raised close to $1.5 million this evening, and I thank you all.
We've raised almost $17 million.
As I say, we're drowning in a sea of plenty. The answer is among us. There's no question.
I just think this illness is a catastrophe. It has to be hacked away at, chopped up and thrown out. Sorry, it has gotta go. It's just gotta go. Bye-bye, gotta go. And I know I might go. I know. But that's cool. This disease is going down. It's going down.
Good afternoon to Chairman Spector and the members of this committee. 5 months ago, I came here to tell you about my story, my work, and to ask for your help. Since that time, while we wait, I have come to rely on this ventilator. That is because ALS is destroying the muscles I use to breathe.
3 years into the illness, I was very into putting the organization together. And I thought, we're gonna do it, we're gonna find it in time. The research is gonna catch up with me. But as I get sicker, and it's been 6 years now, it's a different world for me. I live in a different world now. Oh, I don't log the way I used to. Like I used to log, just have a cup of coffee. In my hands, the warmth of coffee, like putting your hands around a cup of coffee, like just like that simple moment. I used to want that, but I can't think about things like that. I have great dreams. I dream really vividly. When I'm dreaming at night, I can see myself, who I was before I got ill. And I can dance. I have a whole life. I just have this really intense image of running into a guy's arms, but the kind where I don't want to be too sexual, but where you jump up into his arms, and you grab him. Those were the images I used to have. But now I do have to face literal physical things that are happening that I cannot ignore. That Puerto Rico trip was part of my summer of love. It was the second summer of A.L.S. I went to Puerto Rico with a guy that I was mad for. We had a beautiful time. And although I couldn't walk or move well at all, when I held on to Reed, I could move. I could move in the water. I think I took the risk to love again, because I wanted that feeling one last time. That incredible feeling of falling in love. It's the best, such a powerful feeling. But you know what sucks about illness? It so consumes you that you don't even have time to love. And that's really hard for a girl like me. It's gonna sound really queer. I think I was born to love.
I think that's a song as well.
Born to run.
Oh, Born to Run.
I'd like to be born to run.
Baby, we were born to love.
No, I think I'm a love girl. I do. I feel like an idiot right now.
I know, we're not very physically affectionate with one another. I just think, again, it's the cultural territory. Not a lot of touching going on.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. If I got better, ooh, they'd be jumped on. I'd be jumping all over them.
I might even be willing to change if you got better.
But I would totally jump on you. If I got better.
Well, how do you mean that, really?
No, in a very platonic way. Then I'd jump on you too.
Some wrestling?
Come on, girl.
All right, we do some wrestling.
Come on, girl.
So this is an animal that is impaired. He has ALS, and the strategy then is that right about the time that the animals are beginning to show symptoms is when we inject the virus containing the therapeutic gene into various muscles.
I think we've hit upon the first effective therapies for ALS, and I think they're coming down the pike in the next year to 2 years. Can you believe I'm actually sitting here excited to say that we have a great mouse model of ALS?
In my bedroom.
Yeah, I mean, this is a family very scared of mice, but...
They used to really gross me out. Meredith, you hate mice. No?
I don't hate them anymore.
But now we like them.
So anyway, this particular gene therapy approach has us all very excited because what Dr. Fred Gage at the Salk Institute has done is he's figured out that by putting medicine in a gene form inside of a virus, by doing that and injecting the muscles of these ALS mice, you can help these mice to live longer.
Normally, the ALS mice live to be about 125 days. And what we're trying to do is extend the period of time that they're healthy for as long as we can. And what we found was that one of the viruses could extend the life of the mice by about 30 days. This animal would have been dead a while ago.
The striking thing is that we are remarkably similar to mice in the sense that we have about the same number of genes, we have the same general types of organs. Yes, our brains are a little bit larger, hopefully we're a little wiser, but by and large, the biology and physiology of how a mouse works is really rather analogous to how a human works.
And in a very short period of time, we've gone from very early experiments to experiments ready to turn to the FDA and say, we think we're ready to do a gene therapy trial. That doesn't happen that often.
I can also say that this particular form of gene therapy has never, ever been tried before. So it's not like we can just go to a commercial company or a huge pharmaceutical company and say, you know, we need 100 vials of this stuff for our phase 1 clinical trial. This stuff has never been manufactured before. So we're currently negotiating with various biotechs to see who would be best suited to the job of making enough for a phase 1 clinical trial.
Don't you want to just take this vial and inject it into Jenifer?
Yeah, of course. Can't do that. I honestly, in my heart...
No can do.
No can do. No, I know won't do, or I won't do, because I'll tell you why. I honestly think that by going through all the regulatory stuff that the FDA is asking us to do, we will end up with a better product to inject. Now all we need to do is convince the Food and Drug Administration that we've created a safe product.
Get it funded.
Well, the funding is always an issue, but that's what Project ALS does. And I think we're sitting kind of pretty with this. Feel very positive about it.
No, I feel pretty.
You feel pretty?
Oh, so pretty.
Do you feel pretty and witty and gay? No.
Gay.
We could get into
In
that.
the old-fashioned way.
Oh.
We've used this rat to begin to investigate stem cells as well, and we've actually hit some pay dirt in those experiments we're pretty excited about, using human embryonic stem cells. And quite excitingly, when we put these cells in, these animals actually start getting better. When we inject these cells and we watch them over the next 1 to 3 months, we clearly see that some of these rats actually regain some of their strength. Not all, we're not curing these animals by any means, but there's no question that a paralyzed animal regains some motor function in their hind limbs.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
James. Happy birthday to you. Imperceptibly underneath from the other.
Come on, then I get to test it.
Jake, get that out of your mouth.
Jensen, we love you.
Well, you know what? I love you back a million times.
Yeah, I don't get this.
Do you know how much I love you, the world?
I know. Thank you very much. Now let's go on to the next room.
I stay up very late at night because I want to hold on to as much time as I have left. So I stretched my nights really long, and I was always a night bird. Karen and I hang out at night. She's my nurse at night. And I always talk about my sisters with her. That they'll be okay. I don't want to cry now. Lorna? I just want you to wipe my eyes for a sec. No, I want to talk about it. I think it's really good. The other one. Please.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I know, I'm the diva of A.L.S. The diva. Anyway, so Karen is with me at night. Can I talk about, like, the really huge issues? Because as much as I talk my sister's heads off about A.L.S, I want to take some of the weight off them. So I put it on Karen. And we talk about life and death. And will my sisters be okay? You know, if I go. And she's so loving. Just completely reassuring that things are gonna be okay. This woman, who I don't really know, just sort of takes care of me. Get that hour of night.
You know, we talk about a lot of stuff, deep stuff, stuff that none of you are gonna hear today. It's between me and Jenifer, right?
Right. Okay, I'll stop crying.
You know, so that's heavy, heavy stuff.
We get through the nights, we have some fun too.
We do what we have to do until she falls asleep. So, you know, it gets a little rough.
We fight too, right?
Oh, yeah. Huge fights, right, Lawrence?
Sort of like a married couple.
But I gotta say, you know, I don't know where she gets it from, but she's a real trooper. I mean, look at her. Sometimes she makes me laugh, and I'm supposed to be making her laugh, so I don't know where she gets it from, but we're gonna hang in there until, you know, right?
Yep.
Look at her. Just take a look at her.
What do you say to her? When you say goodnight, what do you say?
Sometimes I still say, I still think we can get out of this.
Lorna and Karen always tell me I could get out of it.
Yeah,
too.
it's just very well put. I still think we
know
can get out of this.
But we are getting out of it, even if
we're not getting out of it?
Yeah, we're getting out of it.
We're getting out of it.
Even if we're not getting out of it.
But we still might get out of this.
We might get out of it. I feel like we're the Marx Brothers right now.
I wish.
Sure like the noses.
Maybe you guys could get us those eyeglasses with the mustaches. We could do a whole Groucho Marx thing. I think I'd be Harpo.
Could be, who knows? There's something due any day. I will know right away, soon as it shows. It'd make 'em cannonballing down through the sky, gleaming its eye, bright as a rose. Who knows? It's only just out of reach, down the block on a beach, under a tree. I got a feeling there's a miracle due, gonna come true, coming to me. Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming, something good, if I can wait.